Welcome back to Casa Fiore's Cucina. In the very back of my kitchen garden stands a large pear tree, and underneath it is pitched this shovel. This was my Grammy Lane shovel. I pitched it here so I would never forget the kind of person she was and how much she inspired me. Oh, my Grammy Lane was the sweetest, kindest woman, greatest grandma you could ever imagine. But don't underestimate her. She could throw on her overalls and dig in the garden all day long. And if there was an ornery squirrel, she'd just dispatch that thing in a heartbeat, calmly. And then she'd go inside and she'd bake an apple pie or apple crumb with her own Gravenstein apples, big Gravenstein apples. And then she'd get all gussied up for a night out with my grandpa, Fiore Pignataro, at Lorenzo's in Tacoma. She was a vision of elegance and style. I pitched this shovel to remember all those people that came before me in my family that inspired me in the kitchen and in the garden. This shovel is a monument to their legacy, and I try to be the torchbearer of that legacy. Those stories, those people live on. They're immortal in my kitchen and my garden. I've shared with you Pop's fava beans and Grandma Carmella's mint and Adamo Rossetti's aglio olio. And I've got other stories and other great dishes to share with you. And I want to pass that torch on to the next generation. So today we're going to continue with the legacy of our family in the kitchen and in the garden with one of Elaine's very famous favorite dishes, rhubarb custard pie.
Ciao a tutti la mia familia de Facebook and welcome back to Casa Fiore's Cucina, also known as Cafe Fifi. And today we're going to be making my favorite dessert ever, rhubarb custard pie with homegrown rhubarb from our garden. So before we start, I just wanted to say you start with your dough. And so you can use whatever recipe you want, whatever is your favorite, but our favorite, and the one that we use today, is from a boat, a whale, and a walrus cookbook. I highly recommend this cookbook. It has really good recipes in it. So we already made our dough over here, but we're just gonna work on the filling right now. So the first step is to beat 3 eggs in a bowl. And then once they're beat, we're gonna add that to 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. It's okay if you don't get all of it in there. 1/4 of a cup of flour, a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of orange zest, 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and we ground ours from an actual like a nutmeg thing, I don't know what they're called, but and a dash of salt. And then you're just gonna beat this all together. So when it's fully mixed, it should look like this. It should be a very pretty color with some orange specks in it. And then we're gonna add 4 cups of chopped rhubarb, about this big. So, we should probably take this out first. You can lick this now. So you're gonna add your rhubarb and you're just gonna mix it together with a spatula this time. So now we're gonna add our mixture, our filling. Oh, that's a weird way to hold it. I'm gonna move this closer, into our pie crust that is in our pie pan. So you wanna scrape down the sides and get all of it in. We're gonna get 2 tablespoons of butter cut into small pieces, and we're just gonna put some of it, in here. So as you can tell, we've got the second half of our pie crust on here, the top layer, and we have it all pretty like that. So we had some of the bottom and the top layer hanging out the side, and we just kind of crimped it over like this, and then we just went like this to make it look like this. But if you have another design, go for it. Do whatever you want with it. And then so we're gonna put a little bit of egg wash on top, which for our egg wash, this is totally optional. This is just if you want a little more crisp and like make it look all golden brown and stuff. For our egg wash, we just did an egg and a little bit of water. With like pies, when we get like more sour fruit, you would usually want to do like maybe cream and then put a little sugar on top. But since we have the super sweet custard, we're just gonna put on just the egg wash, just to make it look more golden brown.
Oh, Fiore, did you ever do this right? Oh my God, I cannot wait. Oh my God.
We're ready. Fiore, thanks for making this. Oh, rhubarb custard pie. Oh, ma'am. It's creamy, it's tart.
So good.
What do you think?
Oh, delicious.
We add our own touches. That orange zest and that vanilla, that kicks it up a notch. This crust is perfect. You know whose recipe this is, right? This is my grandma Elaine's recipe. And you girls are carrying on the torch of this legacy. You're the new torch bearers of this family. And I just really appreciate it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it in action. We're bringing our family legacy to the kitchen, through the garden. We're sharing it with you. Thanks a lot for tuning in to Casa Fiore. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.